Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the She.Must.Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great holiday. It is currently January 1st. Christmas is over. I hope you guys had a great Christmas day if you celebrate. We did, as you can see on our little Vlogmas videos. Thank you again so much for watching if you did. But yeah, it's January 1st today. And we are going to be heading over to my mom shortly because we celebrate our family Christmas on New Year's Day. So I'm a little sparkly today. Avery's all dressed up as well. But yeah, I wanted to get this recorded and uploaded hopefully before we leave. I haven't had a whole ton of time to knit over this Christmas break. Parents, raise your hands if you are looking forward to the kids going back to school. Avery is she's starting to drive me a little crazy because she's just so busy. She needs to do things all the time, and yeah, sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do. So I do have some things to share with you. I'm going to have a quick sip of my tea. I still have my tea. I've got baked apple today, and then we'll get into the knitting. So what do I have for you today? I have a little bit of admin stuff to cover first, but then I have two finished projects. Three. Okay, I have two main finished projects, and then I have a couple of little gifty finished projects that I've done. And then I wanted to talk about kind of like a goal wrap up, my December goals, what I finished, and what I'm hoping to do this month, as well as just an overall year update. So like what I completed over the year, my projects, Crafty Bingo update, the new Crafty Bingo going on in the group for 2019. So there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. This is going to be a bit of a chatty episode, I think, but hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So before we get into the knitting, two admin things. First, I have my monthly winner. So every month I draw a winner from the comments made on any of my videos, as well as items purchased in my shop. So each comment and each item purchased in that given month counts as an entry, and then I draw a winner who gets a $20 coupon to use in my shop. So I drew the winner for December, and the winner is She.Must.Knit123, and you were a YouTube comment. You've commented on a few of my videos, so thank you so much. If you want to contact me either through my website on the contact page or through Ravelry, I'll get that set up for you. The only other admin thing I wanted to cover is that I am going to be having another very quick sale in my shop. I have some new ideas for the upcoming show season. And I want to just clear out a little bit of the older inventory before I start making a whole bunch of new things. So it is going to be kind of a flash sale. It's going to last, it could be 24 hours or it could go up to 72 hours. So don't know when it's going to end. It's going to end at some point in that time period. When you're watching this, the code will be active, and the code is SAVE30. You will get 30% off any of the in-stock items that are listed in my shop. So yeah, if you missed my birthday sale that I had early December, this would be a good chance to grab an item or two that you may have had your eye on. So before I get into my projects, Avery wanted to share something with you. She has slowly been getting into knitting. We had started maybe a month ago, and she worked on it like twice and then wasn't interested. And then over the holidays, we changed up the project that she was working on so that it would be something that maybe she'd be a little more interested in. And she's been working on it a lot more frequently. So she wanted to share that with you. So here she is.
Hello again. My name is Avery, and I've been working on knitting before Christmas break. So I just want to show you my knitting that I've been working on. This is the knitting that I have been working on. I'm making a sleeping bag for my LOLs, and I'm making lots. So this is my first one. So that's why I'm not done yet, though. because it has to go, we have to fold it to make a pillow and fold it like here, this, but so I guess that's what I'm making. So back to Mommy, bye!
Okay, and now I'm back. Let's get into my projects. What have I been working on? So first, I think I'm going to share with you the smaller projects, and then we'll get into the knitting projects. As I said, we are going to my mom's today to exchange gifts and have our little Christmas family celebration. And so last night I was furiously trying to finish up those last little gifts that I wanted to get done. And the first one is not exciting at all. But my mom really likes these, and so I try and make her one every Christmas. They're not fun to make, so yeah, there's a lot of love in this item, this little tiny item. So this is just a washcloth, and last year was the first time I made her one with this kind of scrubby material knitted in with the regular cotton. And this is just the Red Heart Scrubby. And I made, like I said, I made her one last year with this knit in, and she really, really likes it. So I had a little bit of it left over, and I decided to make her another one. All I do is crochet, because I don't enjoy making washcloths. I don't knit them, I crochet them. And I basically just make a chain about the width of the cloth I want, and then I do half double crochets until it's about square, and then I usually go around the edge with just a slip stitch to kind of finish it off. So that is one of my mom's gifts that I finished. And then the other thing I was working on yesterday and the day before was this whole stack of reusable like face washcloths and stuff. It was a couple of episodes back where I talked about how I had made some for myself because I wanted to stop using the throwaway makeup wipes, and so I made a bunch for myself, and I have been using them ever since. I have not bought any disposable wipes since, and I love them. They are very, very soft, and I have found that they remove my makeup really, really well. And I know my mom had made a comment once that when she travels and stuff, she would love to have some darker washcloths, because if you're at a friend's house or if you're at like a hotel and stuff, you always kind of feel bad about using their nice white washcloths to take off your dirty makeup, right? So I was like, I'm gonna make her some too, and I'm gonna use a darker flannel. So all these is just some flannel. They're so easy to make if you have a sewing machine and just do straight lines. I just cut out about 6.5 to 7 inch squares of 2 different flannel pieces, and then put the right size together, sew around the edge, flip them inside out, and then do an additional just edging around the outside. So I made a whole bunch of these, and those are going to be going to both my mom, and then I have a friend that I want to give some to as well, who wears makeup and is thrifty like I am, and I thought she might appreciate not having to buy makeup wipes either. So that's what I was working on yesterday, trying to get those done. And then I will share this project first, and then the one that I know you have all been waiting for. I finished them. You will see those in a minute, but I finished my December Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. So I have been doing the year-long challenge, and I finished the December pair, and it wasn't even the last minute. I think I had maybe a day or two to spare, so it was nice, stress-free. But yeah, I finished the whole month, so I should be getting the exclusive skein that she does for the people who finish the whole year. I am very excited. I do plan on participating this year as well, but I don't know if I'm going to try and do the whole year. I definitely want to get to the 6 months so that I can get a 30% off coupon for the first 3 months, and then a skein of my choice for the second 3 months. But last year I found that by October I was kind of losing steam and wanted to be working on other things. So I'm not going to commit to the whole year this year. We'll see how it goes. And if I'm enjoying it and, you know, I want to keep making them, I will, but I definitely want to do at least the first 6 months. So these are my December pair, and they are in the color Overexposed. And this is actually the skein of yarn that I received as the prize for doing the first 6 months last year. I love these colors. Now, I just did a basic vanilla sock. But for the first sock, I think this was the first sock. No, I think this was the first sock with the little teal toe. I think that was my first sock. For this one, I worked from the inside of the cake, and then when I started the second sock, I rewound my cake so that I was working from the other direction. So if you look at the stripes, they're going in opposite directions, and sometimes I really like to do this because they are still like matching socks, like you can tell they're still a pair, but it just adds a little bit of interest to them. And I do my socks toe up 70 stitches on a 2mm needle magic loop, and I've really been enjoying the German short row heel. Now I'm finding that I had previously had a recipe that I was very comfortable with, and then I decided this year to change things up because I really like the German short row heel. And I'm finding that I have to tweak things again. So a couple of the socks that I've made for myself this year, I have found to be a little short in the foot. And so for these ones, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to knit the foot a little bit longer and just see. So these ones I've knit the foot, I think 7.5 inches before I started the heel, and we'll see if that works better. Some of my socks that I found that are a little short, I'm thinking I might kind of cut the toe off and extend the toe a little bit. Some of them I've given to my brother's girlfriend because she has smaller feet than I, but some of them I'm like, I don't want to give away, so we'll see how these do. But I'm also thinking that this year I might try doing some top down socks. They are not my favorite to knit. I don't hate them, but I do think they might fit better, and I'm debating on just trying my first couple of the year top down and just see if they fit better. And if they really do fit me better, I might just have to suck it up and do top down socks, but we'll see. So that's the first thing that I have to show you. And then the second thing I have, guys, I finished my Santa pillows. I think I showed these a couple of episodes ago where the knitting was done, and then I just had to do the sewing. And these are actually Christmas gifts. So I've been talking about them for months and months and months. I think I started them last July. I know my mom has been watching, but I don't think she knows that at least one of them was for her. But she will be getting these before this episode goes up, so I don't have to worry about spoiling the surprise. But yeah, I finished my Santa pillows. Over the weekend, I did the final steps where I added the fabric. So I did go to Fabricland, I think on Friday. I picked up some backing that I thought would be complementary to the white and red yarn. And then yeah, I sewed them up and made a little pillow over the weekend. Don't look too close. I did buy some piping because I thought that would add a nice little detail, but I am no expert, so we're not gonna look really close at these. And then I also added a zipper. I was debating on doing the zipper. I was like, should I just kind of sew in the pillow form and call it a day? But my mom has cats and stuff and brothers, and well, I have brothers, so there's boys in the house, and like you just never know what's going to get on them, and I would like them to be able to be washed if necessary. So I did add a zipper so that the pillowcase can be removed. And then yeah, I decided to do the little eyeballs just on the one row of Santa. In the original pattern, the eyes are done as part of the colorwork chart so that like all the Santas have little eyes. I just didn't want to have that black strand of yarn only doing like 2 stitches every once in a while, so I decided I was just going to add the eyes in after. And I had almost thought of doing safety eyes on them, but the ones that I had were really, I couldn't get them like to snap closed, and I was like, okay, I've had enough of this. So I just decided to use some little black beads, and because these are just decorative pillows, I don't think that's going to be an issue. But yeah, so that's the one, and this is the other one, and this one ended up a little more rectangular, but that's okay. I'm thinking I'm going to give one to my mom and one to my aunt because she joins us for Christmas and she loves Christmas too. So I have 2 pillows. That was my goal, is to make 2 pillows. And then I also have to show you, I still have some of the knitting piece left over. So originally my plan was to knit them in a round and do so this is the piece I have left, and I knit this in a big circle, with 2 steeking panels because my plan was to cut them and have 2 pieces, but my gauge was much bigger than the pattern gauge. So each pillow was going to end up being 24 inches across. It was going to be huge, and I was not going to be able to make, I was not going to be able to knit the chart up so that it would be 24 by 24, and that would have been a giant pillow anyway. So I stopped when I did because when I measured it and I figured out that it was going to be 24 inches across, I was like, oh, because I'm cutting it anyway, I can just stop at 12 inches up, and then when I cut them, I can just do 12 inch by 12 inch pillows. So I still have this piece left over, and yeah, I might just end up making one maybe with this piece here because it's a little wider. I might end up making myself a pillow too, but that can wait. I think if I were to do it again, I would definitely do this way again. Like I would knit it in a big circle and then steek it because it really wasn't hard to do that. But I don't think I would do the steeking panels because I ended up cutting it into smaller pieces. I think that's why the one pillow ended up more rectangular, is because the piece that I was working with between this section was just not as big. Like you can see here, there's kind of 4 full Santa and then a little half, and like on this one it's just the 4 Santas, and I think that's why that one ended up a little smaller, but still, I have a piece. I can make myself a pillow if I want, and I still think they turned out really, really, really cute, and that was on my bingo square. So I did end up getting that square, and yeah, so we are going to talk about my bingo card a little later, but that's all the knitting I have to share with you. So I think now what I'm going to do is talk about my December goals and what I completed. So my December goals, I tried to keep a little more reasonable, and then when I was looking at them I was like, I gave myself a lot of goals for December, but I think I did a pretty good job considering with the holidays there was just lots to do. But yeah, so my goals for December were to keep up with my Advent projects, or try to, and I didn't keep up with them, but I'm okay with that because if you were watching the Vlogmas, partway through I changed the Advent project that I wanted to do, so I had to rip out a whole bunch of work and restart, and so I didn't really finish any of my Advent project. I'm still working on the scrappy scarf. The blanket I haven't touched, like the crochet blanket I haven't added much to, and then my Cozy Memories blanket I still have to catch up on my yarns that I know I used in 2018, and then I'm gonna edge that off and cap that project off for 2018. And then I'm really going to try for this coming year, when I finish a project that uses fingering weight yarn, to put that into the Cozy Memories right away, because I think next year for Advent I just want to work on my granny stripes, and that's it. So keeping up on Advent projects I tried, but I didn't completely do that. Gift for Avery's teacher, I did that. Gift for bus drivers, I did not, but that's okay. Finish up gift projects I have done with the little washcloths and stuff, and the Santa pillows. Finished those, and then December DVD socks I did. And then I gave myself 2 bonus projects that I would like to have done by the end of December, but weren't like I needed to get done. And it was to finish a sweater for Avery for Christmas, and I did. I showed that. It was the Little Miss Charming, and she's been wearing it, and she looks so cute in it. And then the other bonus project I wanted to give myself was to make Avery some kitten paw mitts. It's a request that she has made, and I don't think they're going to take very long, so I think those are going to be a New Year project, and yeah, they'll work towards my 2019 bingo card, so that's great. So that was my goals for December, and then I think I forgot to write down my goals for January, but I have made them. I posted them in the group. I think it was just to finish my January DVD socks. I want to cast on a pair of socks for Dennis, because one of my goals this year is to make him at least 4 pairs. I think I wanted to cast on a hat for Avery, and cast on her rainbow dash sweater, get that started, and then I think there was one other thing. If I forgot something, I'll update it below. So those were my goals for December. I think I did pretty well. So yeah, then I thought I would do a little kind of year-long breakdown on my projects. I had mentioned before that I did the Ravelry project challenge. So at the beginning of the year, they had this little button that said challenge, and if you clicked on it, you could enter how many projects you wanted to try and complete that year, and then they would track it for you. And anytime you clicked on that button, it would tell you what percentage you were at. So I decided to do that. I mean, there was no harm in trying, and I put in 40 projects. The previous year, I think I had done about 35, but in years before that, I've gone up to, say, 50. So I decided to put in 40 projects. And as of yesterday, when I checked, I had completed 51 projects. So I surpassed my goal, and I was on the higher end of my kind of yearly average. Like I said, usually it's between 35 and 50 projects when I go back and look at past years, how many projects I've done. So I was really, really pleased with that. I haven't checked to see if they have that again this year, but I'll probably pick another number, probably 40 or 45, just to keep things about the same. Like I don't want to go too crazy and say, oh, 75 projects, right? So that was fun. And then also I looked at the items that I made over this year, just because I kind of think it's interesting to see how many of what kind of project you do. And so yeah, I looked at all my projects, and I completed 17 pairs of socks, 4 adult garments, 9 kid garments, 9 adult accessories, 4 kid accessories, and then 9 miscellaneous items. So that would be like the Santa pillows, any toys that I made. I think I made a cat sweater at the beginning of the year. Those were kind of all miscellaneous items. And then I also compared that to the goals that I've made for my 2019 bingo card to see if it kind of lines up with what my goals are. Like, are my goals something that I can achieve based on what I know I did this year? So speaking of the 2019 Crafty Bingo Challenge, the thread is now up in the group. There have been lots of people joining and signing up. If you are interested, it's very simple to do so. Just head over to the group. There is a 2019 thread. It says 2019 Crafty Bingo Challenge play here. Just post that you would like to participate, and I will make a card for you. And then all you have to do is fill in that card with whatever goals you want. So they're goals that work for you, your abilities, your time, your interests. You can make them as simple as you want, as complex as you want. They are your goals. And then it's basically a kind of self-directed challenge that you do throughout the year. And then if you want to post in the thread, you can, because I do monthly participation prizes. And then also you can then submit your final card at the end of the year, and I do kind of like a bigger prize. So if that's something that you're interested in, head over to the group and you can just ask to play along. And you can join anytime during the year. So if you miss this month, or if you're watching this episode later on, you can join anytime. It's just the goals that you choose have to be things that you haven't already completed in the year. So you have to pick new projects that you haven't finished, just to be fair to everyone. I don't think that's too much to ask for. So yeah, I was going to share with you my what my 2019 Crafty Bingo goals are. So I'm going to put up the card that I've created here just to have a look at. And so my goals are to finish 5 adult garments. Originally I had this as garments for myself, but I've been kind of feeling like I want to make Dennis another sweater. So I changed it to just adult garments so that it gives me a little bit more flexibility. I want to knit Avery's Rainbow Dash sweater, and that's from the fiber that I spun earlier this year. I want to try a pair of hand-spun socks. I don't often knit with my hand-spun, but I do have a few skeins of it that I think would work really well for socks. And I just want a pair of cozy hand-spun socks. So I think that is going to be a good, quick, just like one-off goal. So I'm glad I have that on my card. I want to make a colorwork accessory. I do have a couple of patterns in mind, but if you've participated in this challenge last year, you will have learned that sometimes it's better not to say, I want to make X pattern, because halfway through the year, another pattern might come up that you love even more, and then you're kind of stuck. So I've stayed with just a colorwork accessory, and like I said, I do have a pattern in mind, but we'll see if it ends up being that pattern. I want to do the DVD Desert Vista Dyeworks challenge again, and I have 1 to 6 down here, but I broke that up into 2 boxes so that months 1 to 3 is a box and months 4 to 6 is a box. 6 pairs of gift socks, not including socks for Dennis. So I knit socks for all my brothers and their girlfriend and friends and stuff, so I want to do at least 6 pairs of gift socks. I want to use 10 patterns that I've purchased prior to 2019, so that can either be in books, magazines, or downloadable patterns. I want to knit 1 kit from stash. So in my basement, I have, in the deep, deep, dark basement stash, I have a couple of kits that I've purchased from Knit Picks, and then I also have a felting kit. So I would just like to use one of the kits that I have that have been sitting around for a while. I want to do a pair of sport wig socks. That's something I've just always wanted to do, and I think that will be super, super squishy and cozy as well. And I have some yarn that I brought in this year for my shop that's like a non-superwash wool sport weight, and I've put aside a skein of that I really liked, and I want to make myself some socks. I want to condense my stash. So right now, my main stash is upstairs in this room, and you can see there's some behind me, and then I have one of those 9 cube units just over there, and then I have some shelves that are just over there that are built in to the room, and I have yarn in all 3 places. And what I would like to do is condense it so that there's no yarn over in the built-in shelves. I'd like to use that for storage for like shop supplies and stuff like that. So I would like to use enough of my yarn that no longer has to store yarn, and the yarn can just be here in the 9 cube unit, and then the deep, deep, dark basement stash. But we don't talk about that one. Okay. Knitting machine. I acquired, I think, 2 years ago, maybe? It must have been 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. From a friend, Lindsay. Lindsay, if you're watching, thank you so much. A knitting machine, and I have not sat down and figured it out yet, and I really want to do that. So that I am making a goal to figure out how to work the knitting machine. I have taken it out of the bag. I have looked at the instructions. I think I could do it. But I want to figure it out, and I want to make something with it. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but I want to just figure it out and make something with the knitting machine. I want to use 3 sock blanks from my stash. I have a bunch of beautiful sock blanks that I've both purchased and have been given to me, and I would like to use 3 of those. I want to make 1 more faded garment because I really enjoyed the faded May that I made this past year. I want to make another garment. And then just to spin 3 skeins of hand spun. I want to do 6 items for kids, so it doesn't have to be garments, just items. Finish 2 older UFOs, so unfinished objects from 2018 or earlier. At least 4 pairs of socks for my husband. I realized that he just, like, I tend to make him a pair a year, but like this past year I made myself like a whole bunch of socks, and he needs more socks, so I want to make at least 4 pairs for him. I want to work on, I have a design idea for a cross stitch based on a funny little saying that I saw on a knitting t-shirt, and I want to turn it into a cross stitch. So that's 1 square. Make something with my Lion Brand bulky. So I think 2 years ago I bought some Lion Brand bulky yarn in a color that I really, really liked, and I was going to like make a coat with it or something. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But they are taking up a lot of space in my stash because they're really, really big balls, and so I would like to use that yarn for something. Make a sweater incorporating some hand spun. Make a pair of sock set sample socks. So for my booth, I sell sock sets, and I would like to have a sample of what they look like. And then catch up on my granny stripe. So basically, all the yarns that I have in my little basket that are designated for my granny stripe blanket as of this point, I would like to get into my granny stripe before next year when I get my advent packages again, because all my advent yarns I would like to put into my granny stripe. So I just want to catch up on that so that I'm ready. So the only other thing that I am going to, I think, share with you today is just what I'm going to be casting on probably by the next episode, because I don't have any current projects on my needles right now. I finished my DVD socks. I've finished like Avery's sweater. I finished all the main projects that I was working on. So right now all I have on my needles are kind of older projects that I'm not really working on, or long-term projects like my blanket. So I'm just itching to cast some things on. So I wanted to share with you what I'm going to be working on. First thing, so one of my goals for January was to make a hat for Avery. This is the yarn that she picked out for me for Christmas, and so I want to make her a hat because I can't do a whole lot with 1 ball. Now, it was funny because Dennis, when I was like, oh, you know, Avery, do you want a hat? And he's like, well, why don't you just make her the sweater that's on the label? And I was like, well, I need a lot more. He's like, no, it says that you just need the one. I'm like, no, honey. I think I checked, and you need at least like 4 or 5 of these. So he said that we could go out and get some more of this if I wanted to do a sweater with it. But I asked Avery if she would like a hat or if she would like a sweater, and she's happy with a hat, because what I actually want to make her is a ponytail hat, because lately she's been wearing her hair up in kind of a higher ponytail, and the hat that I've made her before, the fleece lined kitty hat, it just doesn't, you know, hats and ponytails don't always go well together, so I want to make her a ponytail hat that she can wear on days that she has a ponytail. So I'm going to make the Hannah hat, and I will probably end up aligning that with fleece as well. And then we're going to be going to my mom's later today, and of course I have to knit something there, and I don't have anything to work on. So I am going to be bringing this here. So this is just some Patons Croy yarn, and I don't have to wind it up, so I can just throw it in my bag. And this is going to be the first pair of socks that I get started for Dennis. And what I love about this yarn is because it's a little thicker, it should go really, really fast. So I'm going to get these started today when we are at my mom's. And then the final thing I'm going to be casting on shortly is my January Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. And I chose this color here. It's called Second Helping. And I think I'm going to be knitting these for my brother's girlfriend. She kind of likes these like darker autumny tones. And what I'm going to be focusing on this year for the challenge is making as many of the socks as gift pairs, because I have to make gift pairs anyway. So since I have to work on these socks and get a pair done every month, I thought I might as well try and make as many of those pairs gift pairs as I can. And also I have a lot of fingering weight yarn that I have purchased in previous years that I really want for socks for myself. If I'm always making DVD pairs for myself, I don't have time to use those yarns for myself. So I'm going to try and make as many pairs this year in the challenge as gifts, and then when I want to work on other socks, I will make those for myself out of yarns that I already have in stash that I really, really like. So those are the 3 projects that I will be casting on very soon, and that you should probably see within the next episode. And then the only thing I'm going to end with is a question. It's going to be another question week. I should have the collection that from the fabrics that I showed last time on my next episode, because Avery will be back at school and I will be able to get back to work, and oh my goodness, I cannot wait. But for today, we are going to do another little question time. So in the whole vein of new year and new projects and everything else, I just shared what I plan on casting on very soon, what I'm excited about. What are you going to be casting on? Like, what is your first new project going to be for 2019? I want to know. Let me know below. And again, remember that any comments on any of my videos do go towards an entry at the end of the month. So yeah, that's your question. What's the first thing that you're going to cast on for the new year? So thank you very much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a wonderful crafty week, and I will see you soon. Bye.